Hi, everyone. And we're into September. Hard to believe. Only a few more weeks of summer. I hope that the kids are all enjoying being back at school and seeing friends and maybe making some new ones. I hope you had a great summer too and are ready to gather again. It's been a long 29 months. Stopping in-person services, then starting again, then stopping again and starting. COVID has wreaked havoc not only with our communities, but with our church. And it's still affecting Thamesview. It's not that people are sick, although several of our members have had the virus and some still do, but it continues to infect us. Some of this is because there's still hesitancy and cautiousness about keeping ourselves and others safe, which is as it should be. But unfortunately, the real hindrance to our church in terms of being able to reignite is our own apathy. Yep, we have gotten used to not getting up and getting ready and heading out to church on Sunday morning. We have easily stepped aside from committee work or volunteering to do what needs to be done, from making sure that we assemble with our faith family for regular worship. We enjoy that second cup of coffee on a Sunday morning in our pajamas while comfortably watching or not watching the live streaming coming into our living rooms, services that are joined by only a small group of faithful attenders. We have forgotten what it means to gather. You know, there are a few definitions of the word gather. It means to come together, to meet, or to congregate. That's where we get our word congregation. We're a group of like-minded people who recognize the joy and the need to be together, to support each other, to share in a time of worshiping God together. We come together. Another meaning of gather is to take from various sources or to collect or amass. We are all different people with different gifts, different backgrounds, different styles, and yet we're all part of one family of God. And how much richer is our family when all the members come home? And one final definition of gather would be to develop or build up, like gathering speed or pace or energy. How can we expect to build up the energy, to build up the joy of our church if we don't return? How can the pace of our impact for Christ in our community or neighborhood pick up if we don't unite and find new and exciting ways to do this? I know, you're wondering, am I trying to make you feel guilty about not being around or make you guilty about finding it easier to stay home on Sunday morning? Well, I guess in a way I am. But gathering for worship is not an original idea on my part. Hebrews 10:22 puts it this way. So let's do it. Let's be full of belief, confident that we're presentable inside and out. Let's keep a firm grip on the promises that keep us going. Let's see how inventive we can be in encouraging love and helping out, not avoiding worship together as some people do, but spurring each other on to greater faith. I love those words. Belief, confidence, inventive, encouraging, helping, worshiping, faith. They should mean something to us, and they should motivate us to be more active and committed Christians. Because if we're not only will Thamesview United Church slowly become a dry and ineffectual place, but will become that way as well. I've told you this story before, but I think this illustration should speak to each of us. There was a man named Dan, let's say, who once attended church regularly, but had grown lackadaisical recently. So his minister, knowing that he hadn't seen Dan for quite some time, went for a visit. Dan greeted the minister and invited him in and directed him to a chair beside the fire. He asked the minister what had brought him there on that visit, but the pastor didn't say a word. He simply grabbed the fire tongs and picked up a red-hot coal from the fire and set it aside from the flames on the hearth. And both men just watched that coal. While the fire roared on, the coal, which had been red hot, began to lose its heat. It gradually lost its red color, and then it cooled off completely as it sat alone. Then the minister reached out and returned that piece of coal to that roaring fire. And in just a few moments, it once again glowed red as the pile of flaming coals around it brought it back to heat again. Now, I know that some of you aren't able to attend church because of poor health, or perhaps because of a family situation. And I know that some folks are still afraid. But I also know that we can all come up with a multitude of reasons to stay away, can't we? And maybe this is the time to re-examine those reasons. Is the church full of imperfect people, or hypocrites, or people we just struggle to get along with? Sure. But Christ came for all of us who are broken or wounded and certainly imperfect. But it's also full of people who want to support you and laugh and cry with you and to share in all the joys and challenges of your life, to build you up and cause you to glow again. Do you tell yourself that you can get all you need spiritually from just going out camping or being on the golf course or at the lake or lying on the couch just as much as you can in church? If so, I'm sorry, but you're not fooling any but yourself, and certainly not God. Of course, we can find evidence of God's goodness and beauty and power in nature and in rest. But what we don't find is the fellowship of a community or the strength of combined worship like we do when we're together. Together in our joys, together in our struggles, even in our doubts. We are a community, a family. So I'll ask you again, what's your excuse? My prayer is that God will move in all of our hearts and give us an intense desire to once again find the joy of worshiping our God with those whom God has given to us to be a family, the children of God, gathered together. Please plan to come back this fall. On Sunday, September 11th, we'll begin our Sunday morning services again at 10:30 back up in the sanctuary. And on that Sunday, we'll be talking about hope when we recall the horrific events of another 9/11, as well as the hopes and rebuilding that not only came out of those days, but the difficult days that we've all had. And then on September 18th, we'll be having Gathering Sunday, marking the start up of our various church activities and groups, anticipating the surprises and joys that God has in store for us in the year to come. And you need to be part of it. Following that service, we'll be enjoying lunch together, catching up with folks you may not have seen for quite some time. Those who want to stay can join in the car rally that afternoon as well. And again, we want to see you there because, beloved church, it's time. It's time to gather. See you soon.